I'm aware of it, I mean, just from the news reports and things like that.
Yeah, I've read a lot about the civil war in Uganda. I have a couple friends who are involved in an organization.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about the civil war in Uganda. I've read newspaper articles about it, and I've heard a little bit about it on campus.
I know that they're taking young boys from their homes and forcing them to fight in the war. I know that they're raping women and children.
I have, based on like reading the New York Times and just like being up with the news, I've heard like a lot about it.
Yeah, I mean, me and my roommate talk about it sometimes, and we talked about it in my anthropology class sometimes.
Well, the organization began when 3 college students traveled to Uganda, and they discovered what was going on there. They saw that children were being abducted from their villages and from their homes. The LRA, which is the Lord's Resistance Army, would raid schools in northern Uganda and kidnap children, brainwash them, and then force them to be child soldiers in their army because they were losing public support.
So then they filmed all the stuff and they brought it back here, and they like constructed the entire documentary, and then they started showing that in like high schools and colleges, and word got out, and that's kind of how the movement began.
In northern Uganda, the children and their families are being displaced from where they live because they have to migrate to safe houses during the night so that they aren't kidnapped by the Lord's Resistance Army, so that they can go to a safe place. And it really messes with their livelihoods because the kids can't really go to school. You know, entire families are moved from their homes, and they have to be displaced to some other place that isn't their home, and you know, their lives are completely turned upside down.
The fact that none of the children involved in this war, forced to fight in it, have never known any time of peace since they've been alive, since the war's been going on for so long, I think that's like the saddest part of all.
They saw that these kids weren't seen by other people, and they wanted to make them seen to other people. So they decided to take the video that they had made and create this documentary and show it to kids and get them involved in activism. So by getting kids involved, they are now raising awareness around the entire nation, and they're appealing to government officials to actually affect change in northern Uganda. They're appealing to government people, you know, asking them, you need to pay attention to this issue. And it has made an effect. The government has sent 100 combat troops to aid the Ugandan and Central African forces with capturing Joseph Kony, who's the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army. And I think it's important for Ohio students to have that opportunity to, one, get involved in activism, and two, expand their mindset. I think the thing that attracts people most to Invisible Children is the accessibility of it, because it's so easy to relate to the documentary that tells about this organization. It's so easy to get involved because the whole movement is very, very youth-friendly.
I think it's great to like work with some of the people, like a lot of the club members, like you can tell how passionate they are about like wanting to make a change and like help the world. That's the thing that is the most important to me, and just because our world is in such a sad place right now, I think it's necessary to like know about, I mean in a lot of aspects, I think it's necessary to know about what's going on and like realize that we all have the power to make a difference. We've mostly been doing a lot of fundraising, like grilled cheese sales. That's our main fundraiser, which is always really effective. I mean, not so much in raising awareness, but definitely raising money, which helps. cause. And we also did some garage sales. And I don't know, I think like this year and like years to come, it's definitely important for us to raise awareness about what we're doing specifically.
So at the university level, we raise money, we raise awareness through different events, such as last year, during the fall, we put on a concert, and we had some of the local Athens groups come and play for us for free in the front room, and then we had people who came and watched them donate, and that raised money for that, and it also spread awareness. It's not the most lucrative fundraising event, but we like to raise awareness, so we like doing this more fun, involved events too. The money that we raise goes to the Laibi Secondary School in northern Uganda. It's our partner school. Basically, I think last spring the money was specifically going toward a library and rebuilding their library because their school had been ransacked and by the Lord's Resistance Army, and they had to rebuild it and provide books for their library and, you know, rebuild the school a little bit. So that is specifically what the money is going towards.
I think it's pretty simple. I mean, you just have to like keep in mind that it's like act locally, think globally. So you're raising awareness and raising all the money here, but it's all going to them in the end. And even if we can't be there in person to see like what our money and all of our efforts are going towards, I think it is making a difference. I feel like there's just so many people in this organization that are so dedicated that they're definitely going to have an effect on ending the war.
Invisible Children has a very substantial impact on the war in Uganda. I don't think it by itself can end it. I think that Invisible Children and government leaders, etc., need to focus on working with people in Africa to actually end the war. I don't think we, by just spreading awareness and giving them money and funding their education, can affect change. I think they also need to have a part in interacting with us to help change their own state, and I think they also need to bring themselves up and raise themselves up as a nation.